People tend to overthink all of these things a lot and make it hard and fast rules when it isn't.
Look at that temperature. It is cold now.
Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at.
It is cold this morning, but so for a very long time, probably for about maybe like a year, I didn't actually do any back squats. Like I just did front squats and some overhead squats. And the reason in my head was that as a weightlifter, I only ever have to work on getting my clean stronger, right? So I only have to clean. So I didn't do back squats. But recently, I came to the realization that with back squats, you can actually lift a lot more. So you can squat them a lot more. So if your problem is your legs, then this will help your legs get a lot stronger. You still have to do front squats, in my opinion, to keep training that positional strength that you have in the front squat that's different from the back squat. But the back squat will help your legs get a lot stronger because you can squat more. Right, set number 1. That feels heavy. So about 2-3 weeks ago, I started implementing back squats again. My goal is kind of to get to 200. Set number 2. You're probably thinking, training without music? Yes, most of the time. So it's not that I deliberately train without music. Sometimes I do. When I'm doing snatches and clean and jerks, for example, I like to not have music because it allows me to hear the audible cue. So when I'm trying to stand upright, but I'm struggling, it allows me to hear the audible cue of making contact correctly, my feet, my elbows locking out when I hear the sound from my feet, stuff like that. So when I do that, try not to have music so I can have that extra input. It's also good mental training, in my opinion. Being there with just yourself, the sounds you make and all that kind of helps, in my opinion, for mental training. And then sometimes I do have sound on. Like for a normal squat session, I'd probably have sound on normally, but Alexa doesn't work for some reason. And I want my phone to reply to some emails, etc. in between, so hence no music today. Set number 3. I feel like I walk into the camera the same way every time. 4. I don't like stepping that far out of the rack. I don't normally do that. It's just now that I'm recording for you guys. Normally I try and stay quite close because when I step back, I tend to do a big back step back to the rack, which I don't like. Told you. Set number 5, final set. Can you believe I've done pretty much almost all of my back squats? Still got a top on. That's not happened in a long time. Which just tells you winter is coming. Cue the Game of Thrones music. Back squats done. Now to drop some weight and then do tempo and pause front squats. Nice and controlled, not too heavy, but really, really controlled. Righto, turn it around, just because I want to be able to see the clock. Next up, 5 sets of 2 with a 3 to 5 second tempo and a 2 to 3 second pause. Not the pause in the tempo isn't that important. It's just that you want to show really good control throughout the movement, right? So you don't want to bounce out of the bottom. You want to go nice and slow into the bottom, stick for a second, and then nice and controlled up, okay? So you don't want to then go into the bottom fully and then do a bounce out. So 5 sets, 2 reps, let's do it. I also try with these to have a full grip on the bar as much as I can. It's not always possible, I can't always do it. I don't always have the mobility to do that. It's cold this morning, so I'm half expecting to struggle with that a little bit. But I wanna, when I can, I do that. Set 1 done. That wasn't too bad. I think I sped up a little bit, but like I said at the start, it's not really about how fast or how long you pause. It's about staying in control. Number 2. Oh, that was better. I look close to full grip on it. Better. Still feel it in my shoulder. I think you heard that. Set number 3. Almost there. What you can do, what I sometimes do, especially when I'm starting to warm up, when I do front squats first, as I build weight, I have straps on, weightlifting straps, put it on, and then you get into the front rack. That really helps open up your elbows and your wrists and your shoulders to get into this front rack position because you can't let go of the bar. But you don't really want to do that at a heavy weight, especially not in clean, in front squat or where you clean. So as the weight goes up, or when you start on the high weight, like I just did after doing back squats, don't do that. I can hear you guys in the comments already go, you shouldn't face that way out of the squat rack. No, not really, but I'm gonna just kneel down. But if you're doing front squats, it's not the end of the world because you can just ditch it forward. And there isn't really any wrong or right way, as long as you're doing it in a safe way, right? So if I'm doing back squats and I'm doing that, which I haven't done, but if you do that, then make sure you get enough space between you and the rig so that if you do ditch it, it doesn't bounce back off of the rig onto you. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Apart from that, if you can re-rack it, make sure you can do that. Doesn't matter. People tend to overthink all of these things a lot and make it hard and fast rules when it isn't. As long as you're safe, as long as you're not stupid, don't overthink it. That was set number 4. I think I forgot to say it at the start. 5th and final set of the front squats. I've still got a lot of training to do. I've still got clean and jerks to do, some snatch pulls to do, and then a shed load of accessories to do. But I've got a coach in 20 minutes, so I'm going to do this set, and then the rest of the stuff I'll do this afternoon before I have to coach again tonight. So I'll be back in here. I'll have different clothes on, but it's the same day, I promise. It's just not going to be the same session. Sometimes you just got to split it up. If it takes you long to do the whole thing, just go at your own pace. Sometimes, not always, definitely not, but sometimes you have to just slow down. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes your body is slow to warm up. I'm a master now. I'm old. So, take those things into consideration. Don't be too hard on yourself. Nope. It's not back squats. Righto, I'm back in the gym. It's afternoon, as you can see. Got slightly different clothes. I've actually got the same joggers and I've actually got the same top, but I showered, took an ice bath as well. That was freaking freezing. But took an ice bath and showered and changed, essentially. Everything underneath the warm clothes is different. Not that you would have seen that. Anyway, I'm setting up the camera quickly. I'm doing some some crossover symmetry to warm up my shoulder, because I'm doing clean and jerks going overhead, and having gone through, or still kind of going through, a shoulder impingement problem. I wanted to make sure I warm it up properly. Well, I always want to make sure I warm it up properly. Recently anyway. There are times where I don't, and then that bites me in the ass. It's really difficult to do this with one hand. Ta-da! You never really know if you're going to be in shot. It's quite difficult. Sometimes it's easy, because you can frame it, you know, against a wall or something. Definitely feeling my shoulder a bit more today. Don't know why. I think I just slept on it wrong over the last couple of nights. Probably one of the best warm-ups for quadricep tendonitis, which I've had, and I've been able to avoid by doing certain things like tempo squats. But as a warm-up, this is really good. When it's really bad, you slow down this component really slow, and then by the end of the warm-up, after like 20 lunges, you feel a lot better already. Set number 1. So when I can, especially when I do the technical lifts, I try and record myself, and then in between sets, instead of just scrolling through Instagram, I look at the video, and then I pick one thing that I want to work on for that next rep, and that is essentially how I work on technique. I do a lot of drills, don't get me wrong, but very rarely do I spend an entire session just focusing on technique. I'd use the time that I'm doing anyway to build strength and all that stuff to work on the technique. Also, unrelated, but a quite important tip, right? So if you take the camera, the phone camera, and you see like at the stop or part of it is like white, blurry, almost like there's fog, clean your lens. Set number 1. Alright, there are a couple of things that went wrong on that one. One, the bar crashed on me a little bit on the second rep. I'll have obviously confirm it. And then the second one, I caught it a little bit behind me. Set number 2. I have a number that I want to kind of get to. So I'm jumping in 2.5 kilogram increments, well, total, so 1.5 either side. 1.25, sorry, either side. That'll get me to roughly where I want to be, which is about 85%-ish. Set number 3. Helps me remember what set I'm on. Also recording on the phone. So when I can go back, I just look at my photo album, my video album. I'm like, cool, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lifts. That's pretty good. Bar went a little bit too high on the split jerk. So it kind of felt like it dropped on me. That's all right. Right, final set.
Yeah, we get full. Okay, it's on. Maybe it's not tomorrow. And bring it 25 off. I'll do. Yeah, I'll get it with the bums on tomorrow. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. You do that. I'm not sure how.
This close. Nearly didn't stand up that second clean. Ooh.